I have a peppermint frost candle and some tea. Feel free to get your coffee, tea, water, juice, dinner, lunch, snack. We are going to be using Royal Europe from Nomad because Nomad is releasing something, and it just made me realize I need to use this palette more. So we're doing that. And we all know I'm on a no buy, so keep that in mind. Let's get started. Let's just get Nomad out of the way. So they have revealed this New Zealand Stargazing Intense Color and Chrome palette. And I've already seen it swatched and used by some of the content creators online. Beautiful palette, totally a color story I would like, but I'm on a no buy and I can dupe this. I can very, very, very easily dupe this. So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, I don't believe Nomad's palettes are magnetic. So yeah, I'm duping this. I'm seeing a lot of purple palettes, and now that I'm mentioning that, let me talk about another one also, which is this one, Ultraviolet from Bella Beauty Bar. This is in collaboration with Devinah Nicole, and this one looks like the pans would come out. Bella Beauty Bar, why didn't you do this with the other palette? What was the name of that one? Bejeweled palette. You should have totally done that for the Bejeweled palette. And congrats to Devinah Nicole. I don't have a price for this with Bella Beauty Bar. A lot of people have discount codes. So if you want this, buy it with the discount code. In fact, I'm sure Devinah Nicole herself has a discount code. But not buying, just like I'm not buying the Nomad one, just like I did not buy Cosmic Brushes Gothic one. I'm just not here for a monochrome palette disguised as a larger palette. I'm just not. Honestly, even if I wasn't on a no buy, I'll probably not buy any of them. The only one that speaks a little more to me is the Nomad one, but I still don't think I would buy. Let's quickly talk about this one. This was revealed from Makeup Rituals. Cute palette, but it gives me a lot of Juvia Place 2018-2019 vibes, and it's a little late for that, and I can dupe this. I can easily dupe this. In fact, I'm starting to feel like I have a palette that's very similar to this. That blue. Y'all remember Juvia's Places? What was the name of that palette? I'm going to put the Juvia's Place palette I'm thinking about on the screen because I have it and I thought about decluttering it when I did my declutter video tagged below. Yeah, I'm not going to buy something that reminds me of something I've already decluttered. But this will be available for pre-orders on January 26th. Some beauties, no more pre-orders. I'm not doing pre-orders. Y'all, brands, get it over with already with the pre-orders. None of us want to wait around for months for things. And talking about pre-orders, beauties, I was looking at Ensley Rain's Cold Moon palette because I was duping it, and the dupe video is, if not already up, I'm gonna put it up soon on my channel, and I'm gonna link it here as well if you want to watch that video. I realized that the pre-order for that palette is between 8 and 11 weeks. So you're not gonna receive that palette probably before April. And April is already spring. Like, who would want that kind of a color story in spring? It just does not make sense to me. And last year that happened to me with a couple of orders, and I'm not here for that. I'm not here to receive a summer color story in winter or a Valentine's color story in Halloween. I'm gonna use Angelica's brushes today, and Singe Beauty has restocked. So yeah, let's use these brushes in my eye look today. And speaking of my eye look, let me get it started. I'm gonna use Eyecing from GlamLite. If this is your first time here, the color that I use is Buttercream. Yeah, so Singe Beauty has restocked, and I believe their 7-piece bundle, which is what I have, although I bought it as a 5-piece and then I added the 2 pieces recently when they had the extensions released, but now you can buy all 7 together, and they have a discount on that. I don't know if that discount is going to be forever or if that discount is just now, but if you buy the bundle, you get some money off. It's also possible that they do discount codes. Obviously, I don't have a discount code, but check that out as well. You might be able to take some money off. I also have a review of these brushes if you're wondering if I like them or not, and I'm going to tag that review also in the description box below if you're considering picking these brushes up. This caught my attention. This is from Devinah Cosmetics, and now they're releasing multichrome lip glosses. Another brand did this last year. I don't remember which brand it was. If y'all remember, remind me. And these are beautiful. As much as I like to say they're gimmicky, they're actually very pretty. And as much as I'm 2 seconds from saying, who's gonna wear shimmery lips? I actually wore shimmery lips yesterday. So I don't know, it could be something I'm gonna get into. Particularly, the one that I like is the top one from the right. That one is so beautiful. I could totally see myself wear that. But these are $19 each. I'm on a no buy, and I have a lot of lips. I have a lot of lips. My lip declutter video is coming up, so no. Beauties, if you are new to my channel and you don't know this, I'm on a no buy until April at least. So if I express interest in something, it's just going on my list of things to look at after my no buy. I'm not intending to pick anything up at launch. I would be interested in something from Natasha Denona if they release something colorful. I'm going to quickly talk about this one, which is their Valentine's Day release. There is a cheek trio, a lip crayon, and a lipstick, none of which I need nor I'm interested in buying. Also, I'm gonna no buy, but I know Natasha Denona releases something every year for Valentine's Day, so if you're interested in these, they're available, and the prices are Natasha Denona prices. So I know a lot of people have 15% off discount codes with Natasha Denona, so definitely use those if you're picking anything up, and I think it's already available. And then these from Pat McGrath, Heart's Desire collection for Valentine's Day 2024. It's launching January 18th. The eyeshadow quad is $60, beauties. Do I need to say more? No, I don't, because you already know $60 for 4 shades. I'm not doing this, even if I was not on a no buy. Totally, very easily can dupe that, probably with better, higher quality singles. So I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it, but it's available. I would be open to trying Pat McGrath. It's a brand that I'm kind of looking at from afar. I know one day if they release something colorful, I will pick up from. I did buy one of their Celestial, was it Celestial Nirvana? One of the palettes they released a few years ago for the holidays. I bought it on a sale, but by the time they were supposed to ship it to me, they ran out of it, so they just reimbursed me, and that was the end of that. I don't like it when I feel like I've purchased something, but then that item runs out. That also recently happened to me with Shine by SD, something I had purchased from their sale during the Black Fridays ran out, and they reimbursed me for it. I don't like that, beauties. I don't. But such is the world we live in. Let's move on. Let's talk about this one, because I am seeing some single multichromes released from Sinful Echoes, and these singles are launching on the 19th, so next Friday at 6 p.m. EST on Etsy. It takes 7 to 10 days to process your order, and these singles seem to be around $15-ish. None of the singles I've seen revealed from them is interesting enough or unique enough that made me think I want to go buy this right now or even buy this later. So not for me. They're beautiful, but just not for me. Let's talk about this one, which is totally a brand that is not for me. Chantecaille, everybody. That, with Chantecaille, I feel like they love putting an image of some poor, about to be extinct animal to sell stuff. And I'm not here for that. Is any money from any of these, is any of the crazy amount of money they're charging us even going to, I don't know, wildlife preservation or anything? Or is it just a marketing gimmick? Chances are it's just a marketing gimmick. I'm telling you all. But 2 sea turtle eyeshadow trios, $78, everybody. I mean, if I wanted to spend spent $78, I would have bought the Ansley Rain palette. You all know. And then you also have a bunch of lip stuff. I'm not even going to spend time talking about this because it's kind of pointless. These colors, do they even show up on anybody's skin? They look just too light to me. Not colorful. This is available already though if you're interested. I just don't understand. Who buys these? Oh, by the way, beauties, nail time. And let me get started with this eye look. I'm going to recreate a look that I really liked that I did before. I'm going to go into this color, Penna Palace, and this is going in my crease. Ignore the fall off for now. We'll get to that. I'll clean it up afterwards. But this was literally the palette that made me sort of change my mind a little bit about Nomad. The earlier few palettes that I used from them did not have as good a quality as this one. This one was very, very good quality. And I'm hearing from a lot of people that they have really upped their game. So I've also heard great things about the brand owners. That's another thing, like things about how Nomad as a brand treats creators. And that's always very nice to hear. We're talking about small creators, obviously. Because when you're a small creator, you really don't have a lot of equity in the space. So you're not going to get free products. Brands might sort of require you to put up certain types of commentary. You might not have a lot of freedom in saying what you want to say if you're affiliated at any level with a brand. But I've heard amazing things with regards to those things from Nomad. So that makes me change my opinion of brands for the positive, and honestly that actually makes me want to buy from brands when I hear things like that. Let's continue with ColourPop. So I know a lot of people were not very happy that this launch, the Twilight collab that launched on the 11th, literally sold out in 5 minutes. By the time you're seeing this, is going to be available at Ulta. I liked this palette, but did we need this palette if we already have Aurora Struck? Because I have Aurora Struck and I love that palette as a cool tone palette. I do see some purples and that middle green in this palette that could be different from those. But other than that, I'm like, I have this palette. But because we're talking about insanely priced makeup 90% of the time, kudos to ColourPop for still keeping the prices low. And we are seeing that the whole lip oil craze continues. I'm not a big fan of lip oils from ColourPop. I had a few that I decluttered in my lip declutter. If that video is up, I'll put it up. At least the ones that I bought the first rounds of lip oils that ColourPop released, and they didn't last that long for me. So I don't know if I want to go buy more lip oils. I have enough. You know what? Who are we kidding? I have enough for now. I'm not picking up lip oils. I have enough lip stuff for now that I'm not even using. Why am I even talking about lip oils? I'm now going to go into this beautiful royal purple called Buckingham Palace. And it's going in my outer V area. Just look at the pigmentation. This palette is so amazing. Honestly, I wonder if that US cities or US haunted cities, whatever the name of the Halloween release of Nomad was, if that had the same quality. I don't know if it did, and if you all know, let me know. But if that had the same quality as this one, I would pick that one up too, because I have neutral undertone, but more on the cool side than on the warm side. So cool tone colors are likely to look pretty good on me. And now is the time when all brands are releasing cool tone palettes. So if you want cool tone, now is the time to do it. And that palette was so pretty. It's just, I bought so many things at that time. I didn't want to go buy another palette. I'm gonna pick this fluffy one and just blend it out a little bit. I'm also going to use the brush that I used Buckingham Palace on, and I'm just going to come down under my lower lash line. And then I'm going to use the mid-size brush to blend it out. I don't know what this is, from Chaotic Cosmetics. Duochrome Hair Tint. Okay, coming soon. It's a sneak peek for hair tint. This is actually kind of interesting. I would be curious to see how this turns out. A lot of times these kinds of things are just fads, but I would be curious to see somebody use this and the outcome. Quickly talking about this because Chinese New Year is coming, and I'm not here for brands literally just changing the packaging of something they have to Chinese New Year and not really putting a lot more thought into it, which looks like what has happened here. Tower 28 collabing with Kung Fu Panda for this lip and blush kit. I also feel like if I were Chinese and a brand would collab with a cartoon that is kind of related to my culture as a representation of celebrating my New Year, I would find that very unusual. That honestly, is it just me? It's almost as if we're trying to tell Chinese people, you need to accept Kung Fu Panda as a representation of your culture. I don't know, I'm just not liking that insinuation because I'm not American, and if something similar would happen related to my culture, I would just be like, what is this brand even thinking? Nothing against Kung Fu Panda. I've actually never seen the movie, but I'm sure there are Chinese people who celebrate Chinese New Year who don't really see the cartoon as something that represents their culture. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Also, on top of all of this, Chinese people are not the only people who celebrate Lunar New Year. I actually shouldn't even call it Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. So that adds another level of complexity to this whole thing. If you're from any of the countries that celebrates Lunar New Year, I would love to hear your thoughts on these types of releases. Because it's one thing to release something that has Lunar New Year theme. It's a whole other thing to connect it to something that Americans consider a representation of a particular culture that celebrates Lunar New Year, right? Like, they're not the same thing. And does this alienate people from particular cultures? I wonder. Let's quickly talk about this one. Mora Cosmetics coming out with these. I've seen some swatches of these. These are $6 each, which I consider very reasonably priced compared to the insane things you see out there. But none of these swatches is something that I don't have or that I need. So I'm not buying that, but I like the price point. I have to say this because finally I made it to Sephora and I ended up swatching Moon Dusts from Urban Decay. And they go for what, like $24 a shade? And I wish I was even kidding when I say this. I cannot understand why somebody would pay that much for that. I have way more shifty, way more sparkly, insanely more wet looking shades from Shine by SD, from Terra Moons, from these other indie brands that go for a few dollars cheaper. And I'm just not sure. Why would people pay so much? One of them looked literally like you have put some glitters on your hand. Like, it didn't even look like shifty glitters. It just looked like glitters. I understand it's a lot easier to walk into a Sephora and pick something up versus ordering stuff online not really knowing a brand. But trust me, you can get a lot better bang for your buck shopping from indie brands than these expensive Sephora stuff. It seems like DD Signature has reformulated their mattes based on popular demand, and it's coming soon. I'm curious to see what they have, so I'm looking forward to that. It is a brand that I'm kind of looking at from afar, wondering if one day I'm going to buy something from. They have very interesting and colorful palettes that they have released, and they recently came back with very cool stuff. But anything they have had so far, I know I could dupe. So I haven't picked anything up, but I'm still curious to see. Curious to see what they have to say. Oh, I forgot to talk about this one. And beauties, last year I predicted that there's going to be a lot of these coming. And here they are. Multichrome liners from ColourPop. Already released and is available at Ulta on the 7th. I know a lot of people have already reviewed these online. I have multichrome liners that I bought from other brands that I never touched. So am I going to buy these? No. $9 each, which is a reasonable price, much more reasonable than anything I've seen from other brands, particularly that ColourPop frequently has sales. But we don't need multichrome liners. You know, the problem with multichrome liners, unless you're using it, say, to fill your lips, is that is it really even going to show unless you're using it on a large surface? Like, for example, filling your lips or using it all across your lid or doing a very prominent thick line on your eyes or somewhere around the eye or somewhere around the face. Is anybody even going to see the shift? Also, with ColourPop, are the shifts that prominent? Because I know there were some questions about their multichrome eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadows, and some people were like, they're not really that shifty. So I don't know, but knowing that I'm not using, I'm not buying. Let me use some of this specular glitter glue from Devinah across my lid. And I'm going to go into this one, green to gold. Beautiful green to gold shift. This is Royal Orb, and it's going over the glitter glue. And while I'm doing this, beauties, let me also talk about this one. This is from Devinah Cosmetics. I don't think I've ever heard about this brand. The palette is called Skulls and Roses. So we are hitting a point of seeing a lot of Valentine's Day releases, right? Anything that has roses in it tells me Valentine's Day. So I'm guessing the intent here was that this would be a Valentine's release. And beauties, I have to be super honest that I love this. The color story is, this is beautiful. I would totally want to dupe this. And I am totally going to dupe this. If you want to see the dupe, write it in the comments below for me. But I am not picking up. It's $61. Why? What's in this? It says it has multichrome shades. How many multichromes does it have? I don't have any details. But $61 for 16 pounds. I don't know, I feel like everybody's increasing prices, so now people are trying to normalize spending $60+ on palettes that might have 1 or 2 multichromes in it. But beauties, I'm not accepting any excuses. Lower prices are doable. If Cosmic Brushes can do it, so can you. So beautiful, but no. Pat McGrath also released this one, Bronze Borealis Lunar. I'm guessing for Lunar New Year, $62 for the 4 pans. That price is just unacceptable. As we're talking about Valentine's releases, let me also quickly talk about this one, Bella Beauty Bar Sneak Peeked Dead Roses, and I'm so curious to see the inside. The packaging looks gorgeous. I'm predicting that the inside is going to look something similar to what we saw in Chucky. So sort of a gothy Valentine. And I can't wait to see the reveal. Okay, because I'm back. I cleaned up this area. I also used a little bit of sugar cookie from Too Faced on my lips. Again, with bold eye looks, I like to do nudie lips. Let's continue, and this is going to be my last one. The reveal for Terra Moon's Space Chemistry palette. This is going to launch January 19th at 7 p.m. EST, and I'm not buying. A lot of people complained about the fact that this palette has 2 neutral mattes, and Terra Moons has said that if you ask Terra Moons during purchase that you want a colorful matte, I think you can give them the name of the colorful matte you want this replaced with, and they can add that to your order for free. But in spite of that, I'm not buying. Separate from the fact that I'm a no buy, I just don't get this color story. So this palette has 2 mattes, 4 duochromes, 2 metallic shimmers, and 4 multichromes. But I haven't yet seen either a swatch video, reel, etc., nor a review of some sort that told me this palette has some shades that are going to be unique to my collection. Photos are unexciting. I can't really understand what kind of eye look I can make with this that I can't make with the singles I already have from Terra Moons, plus some neutral singles or colorful singles that I can complement either from Terra Moons or other brands. And it's $75. Why? I don't get it. I don't. Dermos, hire someone who can help you curate a nice color story. I had the same issue with the last palette, Cosmic Wanderer. I had to recurate that palette for myself. If you watch my declutter video, I showed what I changed in that palette. This is not a good color story for me. And I would imagine I'm going to be your primary type of audience. So, and with that said, we come to the end of this video, beauties. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do these new makeup releases videos pretty frequently, and you're gonna get the playlist recommended to you at the end of this video if you stay around. We're gonna do the question differently this time. Write to me in the comments below which palette you really wanted to pick up, but you said no to. I love you all. Have an amazing day, and until next time, bye.